Yesterday, Disney dropped a bit of a bombshell announcing Genie and Genie Plus is coming to Disney parks this fall. Genie will be the replacement for basically all versions of FastPass as we knew it. Regular FastPass, FastPass Plus at Walt Disney World, the Max Pass system here at Disneyland before the parks closed. And all of those programs have been ended and will be replaced by Genie. And in this episode of Fresh Baked, we're going to do our best to try to explain to you, based on the available information that we have so far, what it is that Genie can do. All that coming up next on Fresh Baked. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Baked. Now, I know some of you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit confused, maybe even a little bit upset about the new Genie program. Now, we've heard about it. We've been hearing about it since a while back, since the last D23. But today's announcement still felt like a bit of a surprise, especially because we didn't really know what it was that Genie did. But today we're going to do our best to try to distill for you what it is that Genie does, what it costs, and what else it costs. Now, we'll start with the basic service, and that's Genie. And Genie, the basic service, is free. The basis of Genie, the free version, is basically the Disneyland app with a few more extras. In fact, Genie lives within the original app, the My Disney Experience app at Walt Disney World and the Disneyland app here on the West Coast. Those apps will remain, and Genie is nested within those apps. You'll be able to make dining reservations. You'll be able to place mobile food orders. They even have a virtual assistant that you can ask questions. And all that is part of the native software. And then you get into the additional features that go beyond that. And most notably, that is the itinerary planning. This is the Genie part of it. The itinerary planning service. Tell Genie what you like. What's important to you? Do you prefer thrill rides or dark rides? Do you want to meet a princess, or maybe you're a Star Wars fan? Check the appropriate boxes and Genie will give you the recommendations. And there are, little extras sprinkled throughout the app that go beyond what the old Disneyland app could do. Just like the app, you can book that dining reservation as we mentioned, but you can also join the mobile wait list from the app, which you couldn't do in the Disneyland app. So that's definitely an upgrade. There are enhancements for attraction as well. For example, you're a fan of Big Thunder. It can forecast ride wait times for you, telling you when it's busy, when it's slow, then notify you when it might be a good idea to get in a standby queue. And all of this is managed through a tip board. And you'll see on the tip board, along with the current wait time, the board gives you the option to join the Lightning Lane. That's your new FastPass, Lightning Lane. Now, so far, everything we've shown you is part of the basic Genie app, and that is free. But it's the Lightning Lane where you have to start upgrading. Genie is free. Genie Plus is $20 per person, $15 per person, at Walt Disney World. And that's per person per day. So at Disneyland, if you're a family of 4, that's $80 per day. By the way, this is a good opportunity to note that this service is the same. It's identical on both coasts, both for Walt Disney World and at Disneyland, except for the price. And there's actually, I think there's going to be one other difference that we'll get to in a little bit. But otherwise, the way it operates, the basic features and basic functionality are identical. Where once we had Max Pass here at Disneyland, and Walt Disney World had FastPass Plus, now both coasts will have Genie and Genie Plus. By the way, what that means for Walt Disney World, here's a distinction between the two. What that means for Walt Disney World guests is that you are no longer going to be booking your Fast Passes, or in this case, Lightning Lane. You'll no longer be booking those, I think it's 90 days in advance. You're going to be booking your Lightning Lane or your Fast Pass reservations the day of your visit. That's a huge change operationally for Walt Disney World. As for the price difference, you may be asking, why is it $20 at Disneyland and $15 at Disney World? Parks President Josh D'Amaro said, and I'm paraphrasing here basically, Disneyland already had Max Pass and they were already paying $20 per person per day. So they should be good with this cost. There's no change here. But Disney World never had a paid Fast Pass, ever. They had Fast Pass Plus, but that was a free service. Magic Bands were a free service. They've never had to pay for any kind of Fast Pass or Lightning Lane service. So they $5 off as part of the, welcome to Genie. And so it is for that $15 or $20 here at Disneyland, you get access to Lightning Plus, aka Max Pass, for those of you who are familiar with it here at California. And if you don't have Genie Plus, it's standby only for you. There is no free version of Genie Plus. For example, when we had Max Pass, you could still go to the kiosks, the physical kiosks in front of an attraction, scan your app, or scan your ticket, and it would give you a paper fast pass. That is no longer a possibility. There is only a paid fast pass or Lightning Lane. There is no free version. Per the initial announcement from Disney, we can expect Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder, and Smuggler's Run to be part of Genie Plus. No other rides or attractions were mentioned in the announcement, though my understanding is that the total number is going to wind up being somewhere around 15, and that is for the Genie Plus and Lightning Lane service. Now with Genie Plus, you can join one Lightning Lane attraction at a time. And again, this is identical to Max Pass. By the way, if you're not familiar with Max Pass, let's say you're a Walt Disney World guest and you're watching this, check out the video we did. We did this a couple years ago when Max Pass first came around. It's a pretty good primer on how Max Pass works. But the way it works is you get one at a time. You join Big Thunder, for example, and then after you have completed Big Thunder, after you've been scanned into Big Thunder, you now can book your next one. And it just rolls. You can't have more than one at a time, but you can do it continuously throughout the day. That is to say, there is no limit to how many Lightning Lane or Genie Plus reservations you can make throughout the day. You can make an unlimited number of those. You can begin booking those Genie Plus reservations at 7 a.m., which obviously means that you don't have to be in the park in order to do this. You can do it from your home. You can do it from your hotel room. And finally, in addition to this, Genie Plus also gives you access to PhotoPass. Well, I should say Disneyland guests have access to PhotoPass. Walt Disney World guests do not. And I'm not sure why that is, but if you are at Disney World, you still have to pay, I think, $80 per day for PhotoPass. So there's Genie Plus, and there's Lightning Lane, which was basically, or is basically, Max Pass the way we used to know it. But there's more, and this is where things get a little bit more confusing, and there's also other words that some people might use. There's the individual attraction selections. Now, they don't really have a word for what this is in the announcement. They just refer to them as individual attraction selections available for purchase, because they're not really trying to say out loud what that really is, and that is some attractions we're going to call them premium attractions. Some premium attractions, you have to pay another $20 for or more, depending on the pricing, because the pricing is demand pricing. Radiator Springs in DCA, for example, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train at Magic Kingdom. And this is basically the Premier Access service that we heard about a couple weeks ago at Disneyland Paris. So these additional attractions, these premium attractions, have to be purchased separately, a la carte, on top of what you've already paid, the $20 that you've already paid for Genie Plus. Now, I will say, though, that you don't have to buy Genie Plus in order to have access to the a la carte, the premium attractions, the premium Lightning Lane attractions. You can buy a Lightning Lane pass for Radiator Springs Racers without buying Genie Plus. But then if you don't have Genie Plus, you don't have access to all the other attractions. On that topic, we don't yet have a complete breakdown of which attractions are part of Genie Plus and which attractions have to be purchased separately. They've only mentioned a few specifically. Radiator Springs Racers, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and then it was mentioned in a separate instance that Rise of the Resistance was also going to be part of the premium. As for the regular Genie Plus reservations, they mentioned Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder, and Smuggler's Run. Not mentioned were attractions like Indiana Jones, Space Mountain, the Matterhorn, Roger Rabbit. Now, it is my assumption that they're not going to go with just the two attractions here at Disneyland. They're not going to go just with Radiator Springs Racers and Rise of the Resistance. There will be additional attractions. I would say probably two of those ones that we just mentioned, Space Mountain and Indiana Jones, those probably will be part of the premium, the a la carte selections, and then whatever's left that were originally Fast Passes will be included with the Genie Plus service. As for pricing, they haven't said yet what the prices will be, but it is my understanding that the premium attractions, the a la carte attractions, will start at $20 per person per ride. Now, they reference these, just like they did at Disneyland Paris, as being demand pricing, flex pricing, if you will, and that demand is going to be based on, the price will be based on what day you're in the park, if it's a busy day or a slow day, what time of day. It's saying how much demand are they getting for an individual attraction, and as more requests are made for a specific attraction, the price will probably go up. I do not expect Rise of the Resistance to go at $20. I expect Rise to go at something like $30 or $40 maybe. Now, here's something interesting. As best as I can tell, you can only get up to two premium or a la carte attractions. And that's why I'm sure that there's going to be more than just the two that were named so far. There's probably going to be 3 or 4 total, but up to 2 only. But those 2, you can pick your time that you want to arrive for that attraction. So if you want to ride Radiator Springs Racers at 6 p.m., you can do that, assuming it's available. But my guess is that it probably will be. However, those tickets become available at 7 a.m. You can make your reservations, actually for both. You can make your reservations for Genie Plus at 7 a.m., and you can make your reservations for Lightning Lane, the a la carte Lightning Lane, at 7 a.m. also, which means that you can do this from home, which I think we mentioned before. You could do this from home. So they're going to go fast. It's kind of like virtual queue, first come, first serve. Now, I mentioned that there's one distinction between Disneyland and Walt Disney World in the Genie apps, and that's regarding reservation times. Hotel guests, Disneyland Resort hotel guests, people staying on property, they're going to get a 1-hour head start on Lightning Lane, on the a la carte service. Everybody gets Genie Plus at the same time, 7 a.m., so you can book Big Thunder or Haunted Mansion. Everybody gets the same chance at that at 7 a.m. But the hotel guests get a head start on Lightning Lane for the premium attractions. That's going to be an interesting thing to observe. I'm curious to see how that goes. It's not going to happen here at Disneyland. There's no such thing here at Disneyland as far as I know. Guests at Grand Californian or the Disneyland Hotel do not get a head start. But I'm going to double check on that. It sounds like this is just for Walt Disney World. Okay, and then finally we got a few odds and ends, a few closing details. If you're getting a date-based ticket, that is to say not an annual pass, you can add Genie Plus to that purchase. You can book a reservation using Genie Plus for DCA while you're in Disneyland or vice versa. So it is a park hopper. And that is true also for Disney World. You can be in Epcot and make a reservation for Magic Kingdom. The DAS system will be rolled into this program, so it'll now be a digital service, the DAS system, which is, I think that's an upgrade for those who use this service, because before you had to go find a Plaid and have them set that up for you. So that was a bit of a drag, requiring you to walk around and find a Plaid to do this. So I think that's an upgrade. As mentioned before, there will still be standby, but no word yet, and I'm not sure if this is going to happen, but no word yet on if they're going to do a virtual standby or the digital standby like they're doing at Disneyland Paris. Disneyland Paris has the Premier Access service. Plus, if you just want to wait and standby, it's kind of like a virtual queue. They just tell you when to come back, but everybody has access to that. There's no lottery for that. And speaking of virtual queue, there still will be a virtual queue for those attractions that have it today. Rise of the Resistance and Web Slingers, and I'm assuming Ratatouille over at Disney World at Epcot. If there was a virtual queue before, there still will be one, so that's the only way. For example, if you don't have Genie Plus and you don't purchase the Lightning Lane for Rise of the Resistance, your only chance of getting in, again, still is virtual queue. There is no standby still for Rise of the Resistance. And there is no option as of yet to add Magic Key to your annual pass. There is no year-long version or price point for Genie. But that story is not written yet, because I don't think that's going to remain the case. I think eventually Disney is going to make this available to annual pass holders. What that price point is going to be tricky, because it has to be expensive enough so that they don't sell too many and turn into Universal Studios Premium or Platinum, but they can't make it too expensive because then they won't sell any. So that's going to be an interesting development. Stay tuned for that. We'll be following that, of course, as news develops. But I can't say that I think that discussion is already in the works. As a matter of fact, they've already got, I've heard things, and I'm still hearing things. The things I'm hearing is that they have infrastructure built in and ready to go for adding Genie to your pass, your annual pass for your Magic Key, but they aren't announcing it yet, or they're not going to release it yet. Perhaps they probably want to find out how this goes, before they make that announcement. And hopefully that covers everything. But if I didn't, if you still have a question, if you're still unsure about something, leave us a comment in the comments below, and I'll try to answer as many as I can for you, assuming I have the answer. If not, then I'll try to check with Disneyland and see if I can't find out. Otherwise, please do follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, and on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And if you enjoy our show and wish to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Until next time, guys, thanks for watching. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. FreshBaked.